Hello everyone, and welcome to our show, where you will hear about everyday miracles happening in people's lives. God is real and sends His angels to help us, especially when we pray to them. Today I have one story, so let's begin. By God's grace, there is an experience I wanted to share with you in hopes that those in your audience who are listening might have their spirits raised up in the faith that even though we may not see them, the blessed hosts of the Lord are real. They are here and love us so much, and they want us to embody the same divine love of God that they have become. I wanted to assure others that I don't consider myself special in any way from my fellow brothers and sisters who are also walking the path back to God's heart. In fact, I believe God's emissaries often appear to certain people not because they are gifted in any way, but to the contrary, they have more karma than others that must be surrendered in order to move forward on the spiritual path. Having one's eyes open the way mine were only helps facilitate the required action. Heaven knows that we are being bombarded daily with negativity from every conceivable angle. We go to places sanctified by deep faith and heartfelt supplication to God and His emissaries to find our refuge from this world and gain more spiritual insight. These places may be deep within our heart in meditation, in the quiet solitude of nature, or in a church or mosque truly dedicated to God's work. It is in a simple chapel that I found my refuge and the vision that changed my life. About a year earlier, I had started attending services at our church headquarters near where I lived in Thousand Oaks, California. Their property was nestled in the Santa Monica Mountains about 8 miles inland from the beaches of Malibu. It was a beautiful 2,026-acre spread that included staff housing, offices, a cafeteria, and 2 chapels, all of Spanish architecture with their bright white walls and red Spanish tile roofs. The buildings lay at the base of the tall foothills which surrounded the property. In the spring of the following year, I decided to become a communicant of the church. For those who don't know what a communicant is, it is someone who applies for membership and supports the organization, follows the tenets of the church's faith, and are entitled to receive communion. I had been taking communicant lessons for the last couple months and was now ready to become an active supporting member of my church. So after breakfast, I drove to the headquarters to prepare for the ceremony, which was to be held a few hours later. A group of us who are all waiting to become communicants met in the smaller of the 2 chapels, the Chapel of the Holy Family, which featured large, beautifully carved and colored wooden statues of baby Jesus surrounded by Saint Joseph and Mary the Mother, as well as another statue of Mother Mary which hung above the altar. While waiting, I decided to do the Surrender Rosary to Mother Mary. The Surrender Rosary is also known as the 14th Rosary, which was dictated by Mother Mary to our church's leader. It is a magnificent rosary whose prayers are worded in such a way that helps one release all that is not aspiring to God and His will. We were having a wonderful spoken prayer session in the chapel when the minister came in to give us a teaching and a communicant blessing. I was meditating on Mother Mary and looking at her statue. The moment the minister walked in, I saw Mother Mary appear, enter into the statue, and animate it. She was a beautiful young woman surrounded by pink cherubs and brilliant angels, and she was suspended on a gold cross. From her immaculate heart, beams of light radiated out in every direction to fill the entire chapel. I felt my hardness of heart being dissolved in her presence. I could not take my eyes off of her heart because it was sending out so much light. It was almost blinding. I was in such rapture that I could not stop the tears from flowing down my cheeks. This continued for almost 2 hours until the ceremony was completed and the minister left the chapel. I don't know if anyone else who was present witnessed the same apparition, but for me, this was the greatest day of my life. I heard other people had visions of Mother Mary in places such as Fatima, Portugal, and Medjugorje, Bosnia. Pilgrims come from many miles away in hopes of healing, renewed faith, and by God's grace, a vision of the Blessed Mother. But here, in a small chapel nestled in the hills of Malibu, California, I actually witnessed Mother Mary with my own eyes. My heart is now more open and freer to love others as God loves us all. Praise to God and His emissaries for leading me to this church, its teachings, and placing me on the path homeward back to His heart. Thank you for listening. Miracles can and do happen every day. How about you? If you have a special story you would like to share on this channel, please send it to us for a possible future show.